Hello, hello. Good evening, and hi everyone. Welcome to another Tarcy Talks, and we are on our 53rd our 53rd episode, and the end. Excuse me. The end is near. I think I can feel it. Maybe I don't know. Maybe we can finish out the school year, and then I don't know. We'll see. Maybe we have something in mind for everyone, but okay. So we are talking about something that we actually mentioned quite often on the stream, um, because every time that we talk about something even a little bit controversial, there's this concern about being cancelled, and with some with some prodding from anyway, don't want to talk too much about specific things, but we thought it might be a good thing to talk about uh, in general terms. So we're not, and again, as we like to do in all of our streams, we'd like everyone in chat to participate, to offer your suggestions. This really is me and Sir Q talking about our ideas. We're not really, how do I say, pushing a particular viewpoint or agenda, but it's more it's more discussion, discursive. We want to hear your ideas. We are hearing each other's ideas. So if you want to weigh in, then by all means, we hope that you do. And so, yeah, we're going to talk about cancel culture. I mean to say, uh, really, what is it? What is its goal? When is it used? All of these things. So there are a lot of things that we know. And again, normally these topics come out whenever Sergio and I are riding to and from school. And so we kind of try to figure out what are the things that we can talk about. And earlier, while we were kind of discussing what we can talk about, it got pretty, we had a pretty good discussion that, we had part of it in the car, and then, uh, honestly, not enough. We probably saved enough for the stream for our discussion. Okay, so let me just switch views because Sergio is not available to be on camera, and I don't want to be on camera if he isn't. So at the very least, I don't want to look like I'm talking to a sprite. So I just switch. But Josh, you there?
Hey, good evening, everyone. Am I heard?
Yeah,
Am
yeah.
I clear?
Oh, there we go.
Hi, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Grabe naman the end is near, especially on a Holy Week. Parang, are we talking about the rapture? or, but to talk about this is something that is we honestly, something that we're very careful about. But before everything else, good evening, well, and okay, considering that for our PSI students, they're now done with their periodic exam. So you guys must be resting most likely right now. So
Not mine.
marami pa bang hindi nagsasubmit sa'yo?
Mm,
No, I don't know. I guess ako din, marami din hindi nagsasubmit. Or marami pang hindi na-check. So it's the fault on both sides. Or for me, for Soksai. But for you, I guess, would you say laging komsa yung naiiwan sa bandang huli?
I don't know. Honestly, I feel like every teacher says that. So every subject says that. So I mean, I guess it depends on the student, but
Like,
think
let's
about
make
I
a
think.
poll.
Hmm?
We should make a poll. Which
Yeah.
one is the most hated subject that you always leave behind? Which is the
Pero
most
I feel
unloved subject?
siguro yung the thing about comsci is you can copy paste code and get away with it. So that might be a reason kung bakit. And again, that could also be a reason why you should finish it first. No, I don't know.
Well, for Soksai, it's the same. You copy paste the code, which is the constitutional law, and then add more feelings to it. So I guess that's the humanities part in Soksai.
See, comsci is simpler, no feelings, and then we're done.
We sit. But anyways, you make a sound that we have a uh very interesting talk in our car rides going to and coming back from school. Parang it's not that interesting. We're just stuck in traffic. That's all. And then
Hmm.
it's either we watch something on my phone or while I'm driving. Yes, we listen to something. We talk about what's new, what games are new, but also topics that are worth discussing. But yeah, maybe we should make uh, a podcast episode while driving. You know, where do you see those kind of TV shows that are like that? Like there's this host. Chat, please help me out. There's this host that would invite music artists uh, for a ride around like the city, and they would conduct an interview inside the car. I think it's because the are really good.
Hmm.
Uh, but if chat could help me out there. And speaking of chat, not only are students that are the ones who had just finished their exams, but we got to see a lot of alumni for these past few weeks, right?
Yep, yep. So a lot of what was it? Anong batch ba yung malas? There was a lot 2020, but I think there were also 2021.
Yeah. And how do you feel about them visiting us now as alumni, not as our students anymore?
How do I feel about them visiting? Hmm. Honestly, well, I mean, it's just honestly, it's just really nice to see them. Uh,
True.
but the thing is, they visit during work hours, so it depends on how available we are to actually talk to them.
Work hours. But weren't you just playing Honkai Impact that other day?
No, I mean,
No, just kidding. But I guess it's very different to see these our our alumni, our previous students, now alumni, because it seems like they look so different now as college students. Parang, would you
really?
say kagalang-galang?
Honestly, they look pretty much the same to me, except for I mean, less hair restrictions.
But
So, and only
we
the
saw
one
Sonic the
guy,
Hedgehog.
yeah,
Did
parang
we
yun nga,
see?
parang aside from the hair, parang honestly, they're pretty much the same.
For our chat here right now, it's up to you to figure out who Sonic the Hedgehog is. But should we give a hint which batch?
No,
He was cool with it, the one when I called him that. But it was a, but in all fairness, it was a really cool dye of hair. He even asked us if we were to dye our hair, would you consider it?
no.
Why?
Parang
Oh, okay.
it costs
Would you dye it
money.
black?
Parang
You
if
have
my
white
hair
hair now.
started to go gray,
Yeah.
uh, again, honestly, it's more the money issue. Parang
Oh,
just for
I'll
this,
pay for it. I'll pay for it.
uh, maybe. But honestly, even then, I'm not too kind of. I'm not thinking like, oh, bargain, parang nakalibre. Parang, I mean, if it's black, then it's black. If it's gray, then yeah.
Okay. So week
Josh,
because hello, hello, hello,
can you repeat that?
hello. Anyways, that's just a little catch up from how we've been for the past 2 weeks because last week we weren't able to stream, right?
Hmm.
We took a rest because we kind of got called out because we were repeating our topics, or tendency is that our topics tend to go toward gravitate towards the same lessons that we had taught. We had to take a refreshed look towards
Yeah,
the
I
future.
mean, again, that's kind of why the end is near. Parang,
No.
we're running out of things to say.
Oh, honestly, actually, this was a question given to us by Ma'am X. Hi, Ma'am X, if ever you're listening. Kahit kami nagulat kami nung nalaman namin na nakikinig siya. But she actually asked us, will we continue this stream if ever face-to-face classes would resume next school year?
Hmm, I don't know. Honestly, it could, but the thing is, it requires we have something to talk about. So, and again, this kind of started as a way of bridging, establishing some kind of communication between or platform for us and students that we can actually talk about stuff. So I mean, if there's still a point after in person, na parang there are things that we can still talk about on stream, then yeah. But for that to happen, well, we need stuff to talk about, and yun nga, parang a reason to talk about it here on the stream rather than in person. I don't know.
So it's gonna be Pisay exclusive in person if ever you want to hear us talk. We're gonna have TED Talks in school instead of the stream anymore. No, just kidding. But anyways, with that said, we're now going towards the topic right now, and this is a topic that, um, honestly, it seems like we might be cloud chasing because this is a topic that not necessarily we got it off of Twitter with what's happening recently from a certain batch, but it's something that has been, I would say, cancel culture has been here for a while now, and something that I guess it's best to talk about. And for us, we feel like what Sir Darcy said, we're trying to create this space that is safe enough that we can try to discuss. No judgment. Even us, we don't know what cancel culture is all about, but we'll try to give you our perspective, our perspective from how many years of experience as previous students, as alumni of certain institutions, as current teachers, and so on and so forth. Because it's hard to make conclusions when we don't get to see the whole picture. And with our advanced age, or with Sir Tarcy's advanced age nowadays, we kind of wanted to figure out what is the perspective of the younger generation, because I'm still young and cool and hip, and I know what cancel culture is all about. But Sir Darcy, let's help him out in figuring what cancel culture is all about.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just kidding. But with that said, what would be a good? Oh, by the way, uh, if ever you don't feel safe about commenting here, how would we ask them to comment though? Okay,
Mm,
we'll ask safe questions, questions that, again, we're not judging, because even us, we could make mistakes with regard to this topic. So one thing that we kind of want, because it feels awkward for us, for me and Sir Darcy only talking, while we don't get any input from you guys. So if you could help us try to understand what cancel culture is all about, this would be much helpful for us, right,
well, I mean,
Mark?
we should probably start off. Okay, si ikaw ba? What do you define cancel culture as? Okay, so yeah, let's put a little structure into things so that we don't kind of uh tackle it in a janky way. I guess we can kind of go through it by first what do we think cancel culture is, and then what does cancel culture try to achieve. So
Okay.
parang those two things.
Do you
So
agree with the cancel culture?
why are you starting with that?
Immediately, I don't know. But I remember part of our discussion was that Batman was involved.
Sorry?
Remember how that uh, part of our discussion earlier this morning was that Batman was involved, but now I can't remember if Batman was really involved.
How did we get to Batman again?
I can't remember, but
I vaguely remember also Batman coming out.
maybe we'll, as we discuss, we'll figure it out. It's not like we canceled Batman, I think. But anyway, just to be sure, for our 10 viewers that are here, I think that's one is me, one is you, one might be Nathan. I think he's upstairs. He might be there watching. Could you press the like button to make sure that nandyan ka?
just,
Just
just
kidding.
go. I mean,
Okay. Cancel culture for me is something similar to boycott. Uh, what we do, what in the economic sense boycott is, because what you're trying to do is you're trying to deny something from proceeding. So in this scenario, cancel culture is trying to cancel out something from happening, from existing, from being. Oh, someone liked, so they're still there. Okay, uh, that's my
uh,
concept. And
okay. And what's the method? Parang, in your perspective,
okay,
how do they achieve
okay.
that?
As a social science teacher, boycotts had been there as a foreign countries to perform certain actions. One example was the uh, 13th day in relation to the Cuban Missile Crisis. If you can remember that there was a Cuban Missile Crisis in the United States where there were Soviet nuclear missiles that were stockpiled and even ready to be launched from Cuba. In this scenario, being a U.S. Main target from Cuba, what they did was that uh, they closed off Cuba by use of a blockade, and not only did it prevent Soviet ships from coming in, but even it also prevented other commercial ships from providing for Cuba as well. So in that way, that could be kind of like cancel culture in a diplomatic perspective, foreign perspective. But uh, boycotts could happen also in commercial establishments. If you don't agree with a policy, what you do is that you call people to understand the issue so that they don't support that product anymore. And in considering that we're in a capitalist world or a capitalist form of economy, they need that they need to satisfy the customers. Therefore, they need to adjust to what their clients want. So that's my context of what I understand cancel culture in relation to boycott. How about you? Have you ever canceled someone?
I mean, to cancel someone, you need some kind of social media presence, and I don't. So No.
So, what's your concept of cancel culture?
Okay. So cancel culture, at least the way that I understood it, is something that, well, again, it's similar to ano, it's similar to boycott, but applied on a, because you mentioned ano, boycott in terms of establishments, in terms of corporations, but yeah, applied to individuals. So you have, and I suppose I have to tie it already to kind of the goal of cancel culture. So because I don't know, I see kind of two kinds of cancel culture. One is more indiscriminate, and one is more purposeful, I suppose. One is basically, I suppose, if we're going to be a bit more blunt about it, um, there's a person that uh, I don't agree with, or I have a certain dim view of, and therefore, I I use social media in order to cancel him. I mean to say, cancel him or her, making known my grievances as to why people should also share the same grievances with that person. Now, when it comes to the goal, I see the two things. Na one is more targeted and one is more indiscriminate. Mean to say that uh, you cancel someone so that uh, they uh, they are quote unquote canceled in a particular context. Na the reason why this person should not do this is because of this, and only in that particular context. The other one is a bit more indiscriminate. Na parang it's as if you're pretty much canceling him out of entire society.
Like
Na
the existence of that person?
parang you're making him persona non grata. Na you want, basically the goal is nobody should support him regardless of ano, parang you could be you could be a store, and then parang maybe you shouldn't serve him or something like that. So parang ganon yung isa pang extreme, which I guess it's not something that really happens naman, no? But parang the way that it's worded sometimes, na parang it's just kind of airing out all the bad stuff about that person, na and not directing it to a particular context.
Now the
Na,
question is, okay, na
hmm? Na yun nga,
you're
parang
saying,
the reason that you're canceling that person is because you believe that given that person's issues, that person's grievances, that person's uh, controversy, that he's probably not a good fit or even a terrible fit for uh, certain things.
now the question now is that right or wrong? And this is where a lot of people tend to get, how would I say, uh, mixed reactions to it or mixed decisions as to whether cancel culture is good or bad. Oh, by the way, before we proceed, could chat let us know if we're kind of spot on the definition, or maybe we're a little off, or especially you coming from this younger generation, maybe you could help us figure out what cancel culture really is all about. So let us know in the chat, or if nahiya kayo, I don't have, I'm not sure if I'm open to DMs right now or PMs. I don't have, I'm not used to the setup, but if ever, you could try to message us on Messenger, and we'll try to read it in stream so that we could at least share your insights about this, so that we can
Actually,
talk about it
that's another
anonymously.
thing. Uh, Another thing is there ano? Is cancel culture a positive term or a negative term? You need to say,
Oh
kasi
yeah,
parang, I don't know. Personally, when I hear cancel culture, parang it's as, the connotation is negative for me. But is there like a more neutral term na ano?
but the thing is, kasi I felt that boycott was the neutral term, eh. And yes, you're right. It's something that I guess it's meant to be discussed. Is that what is the perception on cancel culture right now, because I feel like for the older generation, it's something that not a lot of people agree to. But because I would say they don't agree to it because they don't understand what it's all about. Because if you look into the objectives of cancel culture, it's all about putting justice in your own.
Josh? Hello? Hello? Hello, Josh? Mm. Hello? Hello? Hello, Josh? Josh, you there? Yeah, hello? Eh,
Hello, hello,
yeah,
Mark.
sorry. Naputulan ako. Internet
So it's
has...
you.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
akala ko
Naputulan
ako.
ako.
Are we good?
Uh, yeah, I mean,
Is the
not much I
stream
can do about
okay?
it. I mean, it's still going.
It's all
Okay,
going.
so I got cut off at quite a bit ago. 1 minute, 2 minutes ago.
um, what were we talking?
We were talking about positive and negative connotation. Hello?
Mark?
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, so we were talking about positive and negative connotation.
Okay, yes. So like I was saying that we have to understand, does the current, how do we understand cancel culture now, or how is it viewed? Because it seems that cancel culture has this stigma that people are kind of afraid to talk about it when depending on who you're talking to. Because understandably, the older generation, when they hear cancel culture, they'll say, "Oh, you're too woke, and that's wrong, and it's not something to be done." But when you talk about with the younger generation, it's something that they understand because the objective is kind of noble because you're putting justice into your own hands, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's one thing that I think we might need help with our audience here is that what is the perception of cancel culture in your view? Like, is it something that something meant to be wielded, wielded? I don't know. What's the what's the term for to wield something in the past tense?
Wielded.
The current wielded, really? Huh?
Mm.
To be wielded as a weapon to use in this current generation, a form of activism. Because when we actually did ask peers from our age, we also got mixed reviews, right?
Well, I mean, we only asked one other person.
I meant okay, fine. That's the extent of our research for me and Sir Tarcy. But for everyone else, if you could help us understand, why is this something that a lot of people seem a bit hush hush, or is it something that you wear proudly as a badge that you can actually that it's something meant to be used? It's a tool that's meant for justice. So I think that's why we're headed towards what are the objectives of cancel culture, or not necessarily objectives, but I think that's where Mark was headed towards as to is cancel culture good or bad? On to you, Mark.
Sorry, was that your handout to me?
Yes.
I was a pretty, okay. Uh, okay. So, well, I mean, okay, so purpose of cancel culture. The thing is, since okay, let's compare it to, compare it to, uh, how can, no,
Let's talk about common, let's say, about recent events, such as people that have been cancelled? Would you say?
Mm, okay. You have an example?
Um, no, no. Maybe I know K-pop has a lot of things that people try to cancel, but maybe something that some Disney fans are familiar with, which with regards to the case of Johnny Depp.
Okay, okay.
Yun lang yung alam ko. That Johnny Depp was involved with with cancel culture. Okay, the effects of was that he actually lost his contract with Disney in relation to some of his movies. One of them was um the Harry Potter series, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember what Magical Beasts and Where to Find Them.
Mm,
Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. Thank you, Mina, for helping me.
hello?
Yes. Oh
Yeah.
wait, did you lose me?
No, no. Okay. So, yeah. um, okay. So, we're starting from the part that, kasi honestly, I kind of got onto that news bit and once Johnny Depp was already presented this evidence na okay na siya. And then the other side was being cancelled for it.
So what happened was that a lot of fans found out something about Johnny Depp and then parang naungkat yung history niya. Then he got judged by the public and the public started calling not only him but also the employers out in order to remove him from the industry. This is something that uh, it's a form of income for him, right? Therefore,
Mm.
it's something very important for him. And what they were demanding is, what were they demanding? Were they demanding for change?
Pretty much enough. They don't hire him. Don't cast him for any movies. Make him pretty much irrelevant.
Make him responsible for his actions. And however, what happened was that after trial, it was found out that apparently he wasn't the one guilty of what was held against him. But the effects were, it happened. Now, this is something that I think a lot of people would find a little bit hard to talk about because is it us dictating whether or not cancel culture is good or bad? Or because us saying that, oh, yung pala, nangyari yan na mali yung, it's false accusation of someone of a crime that they didn't do and they suffered the effects of it. That being part of this maybe form of activism in order to call justice, putting it into your own hands, makes someone else suffer when it comes na mali pala. But something that Ma'am Edlin actually raised up was that you could the reason why there's cancel culture is because oh, okay, so Nathan says accountable, not responsible. The reason why Ma'am Edlin actually raised was something that the only reason why cancel culture exists because there's an inefficient justice system. And that kind of went against the argument that I was going for. Because the argument that I was going for was that it actually opened my mind into what cancel culture really is all about. Because my concept of cancel culture is that it becomes a trial by public. Because it's a trial by public, they don't know the entirety of the facts involved. And therefore, they might be misjudging someone based on something that they don't know about. It's very careful. That's why I always say that cancel culture might be a denial of due process. Because if someone did something wrong, shouldn't you shouldn't you just bring them to trial so that they can be adjudged fairly, right? The system is there, it's already placed there so that that person can be accountable. But then Mom Edlin actually rebutted, and what if the justice system itself is wrong? And this is something that kind of changed my perspective into things. So, what's your say on this? Do you think
Mm.
that the reason why we have cancel culture is because that what is actually happening in reality?
Well, I mean, if we look at I suppose the targets of cancel culture in general, they target people in positions of power. or people of influence who could possibly use their position or influence to escape uh, the usual means of upholding justice. So it does fit. It does make sense na parang it's an extrajudicial way of obtaining justice for. And I think my internet is losing out again. Okay, I think I'm back. Are you there?
You're back. Yes, you're back.
Okay. So anyway, but yeah, it's given the normal targets of cancel culture, and it's normally smaller people calling out bigger people, no? At least the more famous cases that okay, you have people who are victimized against a person of power, and therefore the usual means or the usual channels won't work. So it does fit. It does fit but I guess it brings up the question na parang so in the absence of because obviously this isn't that's not ideal. Parang uh, law and the law is supposed to cover all cases and
Yes.
uh, but so the question now is in the absence of the law properly obtaining justice for those cases, is cancel culture an appropriate tool to use in lieu of as a substitute?
So that's how we came to Batman. Now I remember.
Yeah.
So it's about putting justice into your own hands. Become a vigilante. That when justice fails, you have to be the one who upholds justice. Now, now can you imagine Batman being
A social
cancel
justice
culture
warrior.
man, a social justice warrior? I mean, he could be. He is fighting injustice, right?
Mm.
But in this scenario, it becomes that it's okay. It's good, right? Now, why is this bad? Because considering that it seems like the objective is good. When justice fails, you have to actually step up and um, make the facts known to the people so that all the people may get to have a say in it. Could something bad happen if this happens? What do you think?
Or can you repeat that?
So my question might be noble because considering that you're fighting for justice, that people should be rendered their due, that the victims be um, maybe compensated, or at least the injury that was inflicted on them be known, that whoever had hurt them also be known, so that to give warning for everyone else. Considering all of this, should we shouldn't so why sorry should we conclude that cancel culture is there for good?
mm, uh, uh, I mean, intentions are good, I suppose. Uh, Sometimes I get this feeling though that the way, uh, sometimes though, na parang it feels there's a vindictiveness behind it. Na parang, well, I mean, I suppose if you're looking for justice, especially if it's for yourself or on behalf of someone that you know, then yeah, there is going to be a bit of vindictiveness behind the way that you would cancel someone. But in general, I guess the goal is good. How about we talk about it from the perspective of kind of what you're allowed to do rather than the morality of it. Kasi parang
Ah,
morality is
yes,
a bit
yes. Morality. I promise. Actually, I conditionally ask, agree to this topic that we don't come up with a conclusion with this because it's something that honestly both me, Sir Tarcy, cannot decide upon because this is bigger than us. But we hope that people could teach us more into cancel culture. That's why we really need your help in the comment section. Not just for the views, just PM us if you need, if you want anonymity. But yeah, it was that. Um, what were we trying to focus again?
on parang what is allowable basically rather than the act of the whole act of canceling someone, what are actually the specific actions, and parang are those okay? Kasi okay, how does someone cancel someone? Basically, they air out their grievances in public.
Okay.
And
Okay.
honestly, parang if we're just looking at it like that, parang I'm an individual. I can talk about things. I can talk about my experiences with a certain person, which might not necessarily be good, with the goal of uh, hopefully other people think the same way. I mean, that's not so bad, is it?
Not so bad, honestly. Something that both me and Sir Tarsi actually tried to argue one another with was that, is it within the realm of, be careful in using this term freedom of speech, because freedom of speech in the Philippines at least only covers political, social, and what's that one? Religious speeches. It doesn't cover speeches about what happened to you personally. So we came to an argument: what is opinion as to fact? What are things that you can actually say and claim that you might have the right to say it? As so, how do we come about this? Like, what are we free to say without hurting, or what are we free to say? Can we say anything that we want, including what might have happened to us?
I I mean, say it. Say uh to talk about our own experiences. I think we are allowed to do that naman. I think it's more a question of scale, na parang uh, how far your word reaches, na parang, okay, question, this is more legal though. Uh, there's libel, there's defamation. Uh, so libel is saying false, uh, bad things about some person, and
Mm-hmm.
defamation is, well, bad things about a person, but they're true. So
Okay. It's more libel is more imputing a crime towards someone, while defamation is uh you're attacking the character of another person.
okay, okay, that actually clarifies a lot. Okay, so now the thing is, so we were arguing about opinion versus fact in the car earlier today. Parang when parang can we just say that uh, I can say something and then just counteract with parang if people start saying you can't say that, you can't say that, and then can I just counteract it by saying, "Oh, but it's this is my opinion. I can say my opinion." Um, so can we just say that? Can I just talk and talk and talk and avoid any repercussions by saying that it's my opinion? So the conclusion that we kind of got to at the end of that was that um, you kind of have to go down to the language. Language is pretty, you have to be quite precise, and you kind of have to
Very
nitpick.
precise.
So one example that I used was, so for those who don't play Genshin, sorry, but okay. So say for example, I'm saying that okay, Barbara is the best DPS, and that's my opinion. And then someone comes in and says one of these uh, really number heavy guys and is able to mathematically prove that. I mean, no, parang if you look at the numbers, this is really the most DPS is capable of, and then so even this other character will be a better DPS than Barbara. So then I'm forced, parang my opinion is not able to dispute his fact. So yes, I can say that Barbara is the best DPS, but the other side, they have numbers, they have fact, they can actually prove, and so parang I have to qualify my term. Na, why do I think she's the best DPS? Parang okay, she's comfortable to play, or she's I don't know, kung ano bang, whatever reason I might have, so that we are able to better approach what is actually my opinion and what is not actually factual. So, same with ano, I mean, we have the elections coming up, so you have people arguing about parang respect my opinion, but okay, yeah, we definitely respect their opinion, but their opinion does not trump facts that you might present to them in opposition to their idea of what is a good candidate. Okay. Um, Now, when it comes to, I suppose, cancel culture, or parang when you're airing out your grievances about someone, um, yeah, I mean, I, I don't know. Can you just say anything and rely on others to kind of fact check you? That doesn't seem responsible, though, no?
True, true. It how do I say it? You have to be careful with what you say because you have to separate what you claim as your opinion from what you claim as a fact that actually happened. And that can only be established if you can properly distinguish what is yours from what is real. In this scenario, and I think the a third person who is unrelated to the scenario gets involved when they have to make a decision as to what would be the conclusion in this debate, in this conflict. Which side do we have to pick after all of the people had been said? Because again, this really dives down or revolves around choosing a side, and it has been established in our society right now that we can't be we can't be on sitting on the fence. We always have to choose a side. We have to choose good over evil. That's what that's one of the main things that Lent, the messages of Lent nowadays, Lent this whole season is to choose good over evil. um, it has been mentioned also during elections that we have to pick a side and we can't be unbiased in relation to the to pick a side with in relation to Russia and Ukraine. Some say we're not affected, therefore we shouldn't choose a side. But it was actually mentioned very well by some of the presidential polls, saying that we have to pick a sides because two reasons. One is that we are actually affected in the grand scheme of things. And second, we're actually contractually obligated by the UN Charter. We have to always promote peace. Therefore, we can't just say that we're not related to this. So in this scenario, same goes for third persons in relation to making a stand in relation to this. How Oh wait, am I straying too far from what you said?
Mm,
In terms of opinion. In
okay.
terms of okay, so in terms of opinion, how would the third person be able to view what a person says as fact from opinion? And it's very, very difficult to say this because emotions do get mixed. And sometimes people, and this is where a lot, where Mark also mentioned this, is that there's a bandwagoning that might happen when it comes to cancel culture, which is something that people should be kind of wary about. Because it's okay to stand for something, but you have to stand for something that you understand. And I think this is something but that me and Sir Tarsi agrees with, is that we actually honor, we laud, we take pride in students that make a stand in something they do. That takes a stand as long as you understand what you're fighting for. The hardest thing about cancel culture is that this is what Nathan actually mentioned in the comment section. He said, "I think canceling, boycotting has nothing to do with them being untouchable. Rather than the act of canceling means that they have the influence to cancel in the first place." So we tied it up with the current modern understanding of, the current, how would you say this, mechanisms that are in play when you use cancel culture, which is social media. That by a click of a share button, the message is sent across to more and more people. And that retweet or that share, that requote, kind of affirms. what that person says. Would you say that's right? Or are you just spreading more information about it without making a decision? Mark?
Sorry. Sorry, there
Is
was
it
something.
hard? Is it hard without camera? I'm so sorry, wala tayong camera.
No, no, parang something happened in the room here, so parang I
Oh, okay.
blanked out for a few seconds. Sorry, can you
Okay.
repeat this?
Not really. I can't remember what I said. But no, okay. If I were to repeat it, I would say is that in relation to opinions as to fact, when it reaches out towards third persons, how do you make sure that that person understands the context of the argument? Because
Mm,
with social media nowadays, a simple retweet people share immediately shares this information to other people as well who are more distanced to the conflict.
mm,
Now, in relation to picking a side, this is something that a lot of people now feels obligated to take a stand on because we can't just be sitting on the lines. We have to be we have to choose good over evil, we have to be the good Samaritan, not let these things again, the grand scheme of things, we're all involved. So in this scenario, how do we is a mere okay, is a mere share, a mere retweet mean that we agree to what this person says? Or
mm.
are you just saying that, oh no, I'm just retweeting this because, or I'm just sharing this post because I want to spread the information to others as well?
Honestly, I can see people are doing it for both reasons eh. Na there are people who are yun nga, parang I agree with this person's statement, so let me retweet it. And there's also the other side. So I think Twitter kind of has its own nuance na parang pag retweet, then you agree. Pag quote retweet, then it can be either or. I don't know.
Okay. We have someone from the comments that actually sent me an anonymous message. May I
Mm.
read it if it's okay? Okay, this is a
You,
stance.
you,
So,
did you say the
no,
name?
hmm?
Did you say the name?
No, I didn't say the name.
Okay,
I didn't
kala
say
ko
the
you
name.
said.
Anonymous. I said anonymous.
Okay, okay.
Okay. Cancel culture is inherently bad, in my opinion. Because cancel culture tends to be in the realm of performative activism, and its goal is not necessarily for justice, to change behavior, or for redemption. Its goal is to cancel and call out. No alternatives, no justice, no second chances. It's like exposing bad behavior, then not accepting an apology or efforts to redeem themselves. If anything else than this, then it isn't called cancel culture anymore. It's either raising awareness now or seeking justice. Now, okay, I kind of okay. Now it gravitates. I'm kind of, from what Mom Edlin says. I was veering towards cancel culture might be good. Now that this was said, I'm veering back to I'm such a butterfly. But but in this scenario, it's something that I wanted to also add because remember the justice system is all about trying to its reformation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Reformation means to say if you do something wrong, you have to face the consequences of your action. And that once you've done your penalty, once you've served your uh, whatever consequences of your action was, you have to be accepted back into society,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because once you've done the deed, you do the crime, you do the time. And once you've done it, you're reformed to understand that what you did was wrong and therefore try to make the best out of what remains left of your life. So you're giving that person a second chance. That's why we have the justice system. Again, justice system is not punitive. It's meant to reform people in order for them to understand what was wrong, what is right, and how can they be right, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, however, that also goes against again, what if the justice system is bad? Do you now use cancel culture as a tool to equip yourself by putting justice into your own hands? I
No,
said,
like
okay, go ahead. You.
No, I mean, ano, kasi the thing is, part and parcel of cancel culture is the court of public opinion. And the thing is, there are no regulations on the court of public opinion. Parang you can't
Mm-hmm.
say na, okay, let's cancel this person, but only up till this much. Uh, or let's cancel this person and parang after he's been ano, then okay, parang let's forget about the thing that ano, or parang let's it it grows out of control. Parang
Mm-hmm.
there's no way of setting boundaries. There's no way of setting limits.
That's true because, like what you said, cancel culture might come to the point that up to the existence of that person, you're canceling that person all throughout. Now, maybe some people did mention that maybe you cancel that person until they change, right? Because what if you can pressure that person enough that they understand what they did was wrong and that they change because the public says so. It's Mia says then that's not cancel culture. That's just pressuring that person to change. But yeah, it kind of deviates now from what the objective of cancel culture was all about. But then again, what is the limit when you strike, when you put it down? And what if you raise that awareness and okay, people did actually cancel that. If that person changes for the better, should you accept them? What would you say?
No, I mean,
Mina says you should
mm,
be. If that person actually changes, that's true. Mina says, what's the purpose in this scenario? Because once you've met your objective, everything should be good.
mm. And yun nga, parang it goes back to what I said na parang there are kind of roughly two objectives. Na parang you want to cancel them in a particular context. Parang maybe yun nga, they're running for an elected position, so you don't want them to get that position kasi yun nga, parang their history or their uh, they have issues that still need to be resolved. But outside of that, then okay, fine. Um, but then you also have a more indiscriminate cancellation. Na parang, yeah, this person is bad, and therefore cancel him. Parang pretty much just don't engage him anymore.
But the thing is, let's say, who gets to determine that that person actually changed? And
Mm,
that's one of the hardest things because whose standard are we going to follow? Who are we going to figure out if that person did change? And did they actually change for the better? Or maybe they didn't really understand what they did and just buried it down beneath and then decided na move on. Are we talking about BBM? Are we talking?
we're not supposed to talk politics.
We're not supposed to talk politics. Oh no. But yeah. So we have to. That's what we're trying to get to. So okay, I'll start reading comments. If do you see comments by the way?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, okay. So Nathan says DPS Barbara for the win. She actually Nathan actually has a battle Barbara out there. So I don't know how that happens. He did show me. So do we cancel Nathan? No. Nathan says neutrality in an oppressor oppressed dispute favors the oppressor. Oh, okay. So if that's in relation to what we were talking about, that if you're neutral too much, that you don't choose a side, tendency is that the one that wins is the oppressor
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
because the voice of the oppressed is not heard. And this is something I guess uh, it's in relation to the Me Too movement.
Mm,
Tama ba? Me Too movement.
mm,
Because in this scenario, women had always been on the losing side. They're
mm,
not heard. They always get the blunt side of things, and therefore, it's hard for them to voice out, especially when it comes um, to crimes to their chastity, to their honor, or some that they're not heard as they're supposed to be.
mm,
And I think now a lot of people are speaking up.
mm. But
I
okay,
hope that. Oh, you
reg-
go.
on neutrality, oppressor oppressed relationship. in the context of cancel culture, again, the thing is, you can view that in two ways. Eh? You can say that
Mm.
okay, parang the one who has grievances to air out is the oppressed, and then he's airing out they are airing out their grievances against their oppressor. But in the context of within that cancel culture moment, the one being cancelled is being oppressed by these people who are parang publicly condemning him. Ano. So parang ano ba yung ano natin nun? Which are we adopting na parang ano? Parang flexible ang ano? Who you side with, ano? In the case of cancel culture. Kasi I suppose when ano, when I do hear about cases of sorry, am I online? You're still here? Hello? Hello? Hello, Josh?
Hello.
Ayan. Okay, sorry. Got
Hi.
disconnected. Where did I cut off?
Um, your previous question.
Which was?
Basta use. Go again. Go repeat it.
I don't know. I was talking for quite a bit. I don't know when I cut off. But okay. Um, kasi when we were talking about oppressed and oppressor,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like when normally when I encounter cases of cancel culture, the idea is that it's oppressed speaking out against oppressor.
Mm-hmm.
Tama? Okay.
Yes, that's true.
Now,
I mean, if you're the oppressor, would you cancel the oppressed? Does that happen?
I mean, I not normally no. Pero yun nga, once that has happened, na parang people are canceling you, then parang I mean, it's a form of oppression, I suppose, no? Na people are airing out their grievances against you.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so, yun nga, parang I was just thinking that you could easily swing either way on that, ano, uh, who you're siding with, I suppose, na, ano.
I'm not sure if I follow
Yeah,
that. You can.
I kind of lost it. Also. Pero kasi
No.
I had it at one point. Anyway. Sige.
Yeah.
Sige, let's see. Nathan also says what I meant by you can't cancel someone who doesn't have influence in the first place. That's why. Okay. So because Nathan said canceling has nothing to do with them being untouchable. Rather, the act of canceling means that they just have influence to cancel in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
So rather, someone who doesn't have influence in the first place. So yeah, parang I suppose that means you can only cancel public figures. Na that's why it seems na yung target ng cancel culture is yung mga untouchable. Hmm.
What's your take on that?
I'm kind of trying to ano, parang isn't this kind of what we said na parang wait, so the one who is canceling needs to have the greater influence? Is that what Nathan is saying here?
Yes, it means that it only works that if you have the influence to cancel that person. So not necessarily that you're right or wrong, but the message gets across because you have the influence to spread the message.
Hmm.
So it because like Nathan also adds at the bottom part is that in relation to what you were saying that Mark's point was that the target of the canceling becomes the oppressed. Was that what you're trying to get to?
Mm, and I'm a bit confused already.
But I
On
think
here.
no, okay. To address Nathan's what Nathan is saying, yes, that's true. When you target someone in cancel culture, they would be they would be brought out in the open. They would actually be. Oh no, Nathan's there. Nathan joined. Hello. Actually, let me just finish what I was gonna say. In relation to this, yes, you're putting that person into public, and it now becomes a trial by public that they don't get to see the entire facts, and that happened in the case of Johnny Depp, where he was cancelled by everyone when, in fact, he's the victim all along. And that's true. That's why cancel culture is very fickle in this scenario because it's very hard to understand everything. It gets better, mean to say, it gets more understood by everyone if everyone gets a chance to speak out. Mean to say, give the
Hello, Josh. Hello. Uh, Josh.
um give insight on
Ah,
especially the comments that he was saying.
yeah, let me just explain what I was saying. Yung point ko lang was, kasi yung how we see it, culture targets yung mga
Hello. This is pretty bad. My internet has been bad the past few days. I'm not sure people can hear me, so uh, one moment.
Mark,
uh, okay, I'm back.
are we stable? Are we stable?
I have no idea. Okay,
Are you
Nathan
canceling
got
us?
Nathan got
Nathan,
cut off
go.
somewhere.
No, Nathan, go while we still have the internet.
So what I was saying was, di ba nga, yung common notion natin is cancel culture cancels yung mga high profile, people with influence, mga establishment, kahit kahit anong gawin mo, hindi mo sila ma-bring down by normal means. Parang
Mm-hmm.
ganun yung dating niya, yung mga untouchable yung targets ng cancel culture. But I think inherently cancel culture by definition is target talaga is may influence. Because you can't cancel someone without influence. Anong gagawin mo sa kanila, di ba? So that's
Ah,
why
Yeah,
yun
yeah,
yung
parang
nagiging
that's
ng
why
cancel
I thought it was
culture.
weird. Na parang why would you cancel someone without influence? Parang
Yun nga. So what I'm saying is
ah.
that the 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 nature itself of cancel culture is that yung target niya is yung mga may influence.
Okay, okay. I get it now.
That's why it might seem like na you're always going for those na hindi kayang ma what's the word? The ones that can't be addressed by conventional, say, justice system or whatever. That's not necessarily the case.
Huh.
Parang yung cancel culture is a tool to strike against those with influence. Parang ganun.
Oh, okay.
Not necessarily strike against those who can't be uh, struck down by
mm,
The
other
courts.
means.
yeah.
Oh,
Kasi
okay.
when you think about cancel culture, it feels like one way I would put it is parang it feels like you're punching up in a certain sense. Na you're parang hitting against a, a person with larger influence. And so parang and in a certain
Oh my
sense you're
gosh.
Mhm, right.
No, sorry. Go finish your sentence.
No,
Finish
yun
your
nga.
sentence
So
before.
you're punching up against someone with larger influence, in a certain sense, kind of using even your own fan base, or your own circle of influence, to to uh, react to that message that you're trying to put in there.
Okay. So my take is that I got this completely wrong. Does that mean that I'm a zoomer now? That I did understand. But yeah, it makes more sense that the target of cancel culture are the ones that can has more reach of influence because they should be responsible for their circle of influence. In this scenario, you want them to, yeah, to be responsible for such actions. Is that why we're not canceled? Because we don't that have the big of an influence?
I mean, I'm sure they would cancel us if they
You
could.
can still be cancelled.
Okay, okay. But it makes much more sense because from what you said, it doesn't make it wouldn't mean much if you cancel someone who doesn't that have much influence or is just fry, kumbaga, as opposed to someone like McDonald's because out of that they have a huge audience that they cater to. Same goes, I guess, for K-pop groups that some some favor more than others, and others really
I think
are out
that's
there
why
to.
I think that's why cancel became a culture, like a movement. Because you can't really do this. You can't cancel someone, some big corporation by yourself. You need to get others
Ah,
to cancel as well para
like a
maramdaman nila yung effect, di ba?
okay, it's like a people movement. That's true. You just can't go to the courts and bring them down. And okay, okay, okay. I get it. I kind of get it. Ooh, revelations for me. Uh, thanks, Nathan. How come we didn't come to? How come this wasn't part of our discussion earlier, Mark?
I mean, well, parang isn't it kind of part and parcel of it's culture na it's multiple
No.
people moving
Well, yes, but apparently it needs to be contextualized that you need you need to consider who the target is because it's not just about anyone.
Mm.
It's actually, but oh nga, Nathan, would you say it's really not about just anyone? Because sometimes I see some people, let's say online, that they call out people that I don't know.
Well, maybe that's just you though.
Hindi, parang it's becoming a culture na nga, di ba?
Ah,
Calling out others. Pero yung tipong, you can still cancel individuals naman. Pero like the culture of canceling, parang, I guess it's yung if you cancel some, I don't know, ano bang,
mhm.
That's speaking of it more as a movement. Parang, how about on a more individual level na parang, kasi we can't really control how other people act, but
okay, so
I
on
can,
an individual level,
hmm,
would you call it canceling?
I mean, actually, o nga, no, parang, I suppose, maybe you can attempt to cancel na parang by starting it or by participating, but,
Let's say, let's
hmm,
give an example na, let's say, pumunta ako sa isang restaurant, sobrang pangat ng service.
mhm.
Tapos, I decided, ayoko na dito. Hindi na ako pupunta dito. Is that
Hmm.
canceling?
No, but for example, kasi part of cancel culture is that you
Post on
publicly
social,
so
yeah.
parang you post on social media, you
Frontal,
tell your
frontal
friends
review
about
ako.
it. Parang um one of the things that we talked about earlier dun sa was that cancel culture previously was not possible because you had very little reach. Parang when we were in high school, let's say for example, may magjowa na nag-break and then so parang they can try to cancel each other, but it's pretty much only barkada ng dalawang party against each other. So it doesn't involve any other people. It's just so it's very small circles.
So, so kung ganyan, meron pa bang like on an individual level, meron pa ba? Kasi on an individual level, you're still involving your social circles by posting a review or by telling your friends na ang pangit na experience ko dito sa restaurant na to, isn't that already ano na rin? Parang beyond the individual level na rin.
No, so um I mean, yung ano ko is that you can co- cancel culture is a movement. Mean to say that it's something that happens when multiple people kind of align and uh, unite in calling out a particular person or a particular thing. But on an individual level, parang that trigger needs to happen na parang na yun nga, you publicly denounce that. So, kasi it's possible na, yeah, I mean, I don't like this restaurant, but I mean, I'll keep it to myself. Maybe might tell a few friends directly about it, but I'm not going to go on a social media brigade and try to get others to jump on the bandwagon. Am I still online? I think I lost the one moment. Hello? Hello? Well, I mean, the stream didn't hear you though. um, ay, nako. Hello? Okay, next time Joshua should stream kasi internet here has been pretty bad for like a week. Or stream's still going kasi it's the studio's kind of crashed on my end.
I can't
I
tell
don't know.
because I can't open YouTube from my side.
I can't either. No, wait lang. I'll switch over quickly.
Mm,
Part two, part two, part two.
ay, nako. Honestly, Joshua should ano,
This is for live.
Joshua should host next time. Para, ano.
No, but I'm not. I'm not at home. Oh, you mean next time? Not the
Oh, it's
side.
still live.
Mm, okay.
Yeah, it's still live.
Yeah,
You
okay.
should come over sa bahay. So that we stream na lang in one person.
Okay. So, what did you talk about?
Are we back on
So,
stream?
yeah, we're back on
Oh.
stream.
Hello.
So, what we were talking about nung wala ka was, di ba, you mentioned yung individual cancel, the act of canceling na individual lang.
Mhm.
So, going back to yung example ko kanina ng sa restaurant, I didn't like the service. I vowed never to go back again kasi ayoko na pa nila, cancel ko na sila. But is that cancel culture? Is that still canceling? Kasi di ba you mentioned earlier na culture is calling them out.
Mhm.
Pero by just personally just not going there anymore, I'm not really calling them out. I'm just
Mm.
I'm just denying them of that one person that is me.
Yeah.
I guess the main difference is that how do you say that you're not going back? Because if it's just internally in your mind that you say I'm not going back to this place anymore, okay, cancel culture. Well, that is you canceling them, but at your level, that at an individual level. But
Mm.
if you say your experiences, your opinion about that place on how you experienced your dining experience, let's say of a restaurant, people get to read it and they think they pick up now your opinion as your sorry, they pick up your opinion as their opinion as well. I think that becomes cancel culture.
Yung no
That's not just
the
cancel culture.
well, I mean, ano, yeah, but the, I think that
And that's the purpose of having a review
Ah.
system and ano. If
Ah.
you impose your views on someone else, that is possibly cancel culture, but not yet. Kasi if they change their menu, if they do whatever, and you try to go back to it, you change your mind. That's fine.
Huh. Did you hear that? Did
A little
Glenn?
bit. But
Ah,
okay,
sorry.
so I think there are kind of like two main factors when it comes to canceling. Now, one, you are publicly airing out and you're publicly doing so with the goal that people who listen to you are also going to have the same opinion as you na ano that uh they join you in quote unquote kasi you've canceled it personally basically, but you want your goal parang we reach
Personally,
that cancel culture is if you get other people to cancel them with you.
Mm,
So and that becomes cancel culture, I think.
okay. It's good that we're defining it more and more now because I'm learning. At least I'm the one who's learning here. Man,
and the
I should
other
really
one
get out
is
there.
Hmm? Um,
you mentioned there was another one.
no, so I think yun nga, parang basically it's basically those two things. Na parang you have the reach, mean to say the people, and then you have the intent. That
Ah,
kasi if you don't have reach, parang that's basically just you and your friends. Na parang ano, if you don't have intent, that's just you being honest about your opinion. Na yeah, I don't like this place. I'm not gonna go there. Kayo, if you don't want to go there, then bahala kayo. But I'm not gonna go there. So that's just you, parang standing by your own beliefs, your own opinions about a particular matter. But when you start saying, okay, I don't want to go there, I don't want to eat there, and all of you, my followers, all of my friends, these are also, you should also not want to eat there. That's cancel culture, I think.
yeah, yeah.
Anyway, so
No, I agree. I agree. That's what Mina also said.
mm. So I guess we've come to a point na parang okay, what do we do with ourselves? Na parang you see people, uh, everyone has social media nowadays. Everyone has some kind of reach. Some might be larger than others. We all have to stand for something. Na parang we cannot be neutral. Uh, in especially in things in which we see that there is certain injustices or there something wrong that is happening. So what is a sober approach to this? Kasi yun nga, parang we're saying na we're not going to I wouldn't say we're going to give you should cancel or you shouldn't cancel, but what is kind of like our best guideline for uh, people who might be watching.
But siguro before we go there, I wanted to go then to ano the idea of second chances.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Like, kasi in cancel culture, would you say there are no second chances?
More of, I mean, not that there are none. It's more of parang are there none? Honestly, probably yeah. There probably is none. Once you're canceled, you're canceled.
I said, oh, hello? I
Yeah.
said naman
Yeah, yeah.
earlier, I actually raised that earlier also that I said it depends on whether or not it was accepted by the person trying to cancel. That after they moved on or they've agreed to the change, okay na. They're given a chance. But
Parang,
we don't get to see that standard
parang
as to where.
hindi kasi with cancel culture, if it succeeds in canceling, let's say marami nag-boycott, marami
Mm.
nag-cancel,
Mhm.
mababawi pa. Like, how do you get that back?
Mm.
Okay. If I think I can raise an example would be No Man's Sky. If you remember
Mm.
the video game No Man's Sky, it was really, really bad. As in, people
Yeah, good
boycotted it.
example.
People, so it had to be a redemption on their part. They really had to show that they were sincere with their claims, that they accepted their fault, and they were willing to give up. They were asked. I'm not sure if they asked for forgiveness or. I think they
I
actually did
think
apologize.
they just admitted their ano.
They
They
admitted their
admitted
mistake,
all their uh
and then uh, people gave them a second chance when they really strove to make the change.
Mhm.
And although that's being a rare case with the cancel culture, the effects of cancel culture, I think it can happen.
Mm.
But it's very hard, like, because you don't have any standard. You don't have anything to say na you've done your time, you did the crime, you did your time. Therefore, you should be okay from
Parang,
here on out.
parang forever redemption arc ka na.
That's
Mm.
true. Because not everyone is like Hello Games. Hello Games yung ano, 'di ba? Ang
Yeah, Hello Games.
Hello Games ng No
Actually,
Man's
feeling
Sky.
ko nga ano eh. Feeling ko that's why all their content, yung expanded content DLCs are still free. They can't
Yeah.
they can't release paid DLC kasi it's gonna hurt them the moment
Mm.
they charge more for the game.
But yun nga, I think they continue to suffer because of that mistake. It's not like in comparison with all other AAA
So
gaming companies out there
parang
that
damage control na lang siya. It's not
yun
really
nga eh.
redemption.
Well, a lot of people gave them they gave them their respect back, at least. I think parang they're seen as a respectable developer now after that what had happened.
I
What'd
guess.
you say?
So
I mean,
yeah, I would think
I
so.
think in general naman parang redemption doesn't mean na parang yun nga, parang back to zero na as if it never happened. So redemption means that yeah, it happened and you've proven yourself na you're able to work past it. So if you're expecting na if you do something bad in the future, they'll act as if you never did anything bad in the first place. No, it's one additional bad thing that but without disregarding that you have worked to do better.
On the other hand, in
Mm.
the story of Red Dead Redemption, no matter how much good he did, he was still killed off.
Spoiler.
But wait, Red Dead Redemption 1. That's been how many years now? But um it's very hard. But as much as I want, okay, what Mark was saying, how do we go now about this? For me, okay, if I can speak first so that I can get all the points there. More on, if you see something of someone trying to judge someone in public, before you make the decision, try to find out as much as you can about it before you're forced to make a decision.
Before you're forced to make a decision.
Because
Or to make
nowadays,
stand.
because yeah, you kind of have, either you're socially obligated, contractually obligated, or even peer pressured to make a stand. But at least if ever you're going to make a stand, do the research first. Do the research before you retweet. I'm not stopping you from retweeting. That's what I'm saying. But
Mm.
at least do the research.
Yung Twitter talaga na yan.
Like, oh, Nathan, if ever you have parang any
I think
guidelines.
I think it's important to understand talaga yung how it could affect all parties involved.
Like
Like,
consequences.
you have the people na calling out for the cancel. Why would they be calling out for the cancel? Anong goal nila? What's their stake in it? And then the
Mm.
other side na kina-cancel, what's their stake in the yung pag-cancel sa kanila? Anong effect sa kanila if they get canceled? What could they do? Anong mga pwede nilang gawin? Anong pwedeng approaches so that they can not be cancelled, or what can they do?
Oh,
Mm.
okay.
Anong if they're cancelled?
That's true. That's true.
Parang,
Honestly,
it's important to understand all aspects before
That's true.
you join in the
In relation to what Nathan said, because that's why we put it to the court, because it's the court that judges them. Mean to say, whatever penalties they suffer, at least the people who are involved are now free from that, and it's the court that puts the punishment and the consequences on them. But here, it's the people, and sometimes suddenly the people are gone after you give the punishment, when in fact you're the one who have to be responsible for that person's reformation as well.
I
May
think
sense ba yun?
siguro siguro mas less of cancel, more of call out.
Mm.
Kasi
Okay.
if you cancel, talagang may immediate negative effect dun sa cancel mo. Whereas if you call out, you're generating noise so that someone with authority might
Can
be able to address the
oh,
concerns.
I like Nathan's answer. Can I change my answer
Hmm.
to Nathan's answer?
No, I'm changing it.
Mark, you end our stream. Go ahead.
Okay, good night, everyone. And
Busy.
okay, well, I guess mine is less about the whole canceling thing and more about kasi cancel culture is it's really volatile. It's really high energy charge. There are a lot of emotions at play. I suppose if ever, regardless if you do participate or if you don't, try to be, I suppose, level-headed about it in the sense that you're not doing it out of sense of vindictiveness. You're not doing it out of sense, that you look at it in terms of, okay, what is right, what is wrong, what needs to be addressed. Yeah, parang we need to, do people need to know more about this, or parang, to be really, I suppose sober about it. Kasi, I know, especially if you see stuff that happens on Twitter, but maraming hugot normally sometimes. So to be very, you're trying to make something right. And so to make something right, so call out, be about what actually happened, and, or, yeah, parang, to, and I think it kind of also reduces the stress to everyone involved by doing it that way.
Yeah.
Lowers all the tension. But I don't know. I mean, I'm more of the. I'm not active on Twitter anyway, so if ever I cancel someone, it's just going to be to Joshua and Nathan.
There we have it. Finding out what cancel culture is all about. And although we're very few right now, and that's just their most well rested, well earned break. If ever you do come upon this, let us know. You could DM us privately to let us know, and we can share your opinions about it in our next stream. But until then, until our next stream, we thank you everyone that joined us right here, right now. It was very, very informative, especially for me. My whole thinking about cancel
Thank
culture
you
got
to you.
yeah, especially to me. I know this is meant for our audience, but I was the one who benefited much from this. Thank you also for Nathan for joining us in our stream. Nagulat kami bigla siya nag-join. Buti na lang. Actually, him joining really helped us push more into the discussion. And I guess we should allow this for others as well. If you want to jump into the voice chat, let us know so that hindi kami nagugulat, but at least we
I
can
mean,
stream.
you need to tell me so that I can at least prepare a sprite for you or something.
Si Nathan may unlimited access yan sa stream namin eh. Kaya he can pop in and out anytime. But
I'm on top of you always.
with that,
Hindi niyo pinapansin yung chat ko eh.
oh nga, hindi ko masigit. I'm trying my best. Trying to figure out, saan ko ito masigit? But thank you, Nathan. At least nakita naman ng viewers eh. Also to Mina, who had helped me here also understand what cancel culture, especially adding more anonymous input with regard to cancel culture. We'll try
Siya
to
pala yung anonymous.
no. She provided some context as well. Maybe we have other viewers from that we don't know about. But aside from that, thank you, and we hope to see you next week. Next week, Mark.
Yep.
Okay, next
Unless
week.
something happens.
Unless something happens.
And next
Until
time,
then,
probably Josh will be the ones hosting until I can
yeah,
figure out the internet thing.
we'll try to figure out the internet, or maybe we can have an in-person stream. All three of us, or two of us, that would consider the stream. So we'll see. We'll try to find workarounds. And if you ever have suggestions, please let us know. Although we seem to be picking up topics from what we see on Twitter, maybe there are some topics that you want to talk about. Okay, so the topic suggestions is there on our Discord. Discord link is down there in the chat. And yeah, with that, thank you everyone. Mark, you can sign out. Oh, everyone, just say thank you.
Right. Thank you all for
Bye.
coming, and we'll see you next week. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.